Hello, my name is Klunker, and today I will be teaching squatting for dummies. So in this class, I will be teaching you how to perform a proper squat. Here is an agenda for the schedule for today, if you guys want it, and you can keep up with me. So I myself have been working out for about the past 6 years. I've been heavily into it ever since I started, and I just absolutely loved it. In fact, 2 years ago, I became a certified personal trainer. But that's only because I just became the age that is required to be certified. But my knowledge is greater than just 2 years worth of being certified. My father has been a certified personal trainer for about the past 20 years, and I have worked out with him he's the one who got me into it, and I have learned everything about working out through him. And I have taken knowledge that I've learned from him, and I've applied it to myself, and I have applied it to my own friends, family, and clients, and I have helped them greater themselves through squatting. And so the reason I am teaching this class is because I am extremely passionate about working out, but I'm even more passionate about legs. I think that legs on a human body make a model. They make a person. And if you're not working them out properly, they're not going to look as good. And even worse, you can extremely hurt yourself. And I do not want any of my clients to hurt themselves. So I teach squatting a little different than some others might. But our views will overlap and they'll be the same. Now, when I teach it, I teach that there are 7 key factors to squatting. 7 important steps that you need to remember in order to squat correctly and safely. If you look up at the PowerPoint, I'll run you through them. Remember, there are 7 key elements to pay attention to when you are trying to perform a proper squat. You need to have your hands even on the bar, your feet shoulder width apart, your head up, abs tight, your butt out. Your legs will go parallel, and you will have to stay on the heels of your feet. Now, if you don't know what these mean, if you've never heard them, that's fine. I'm going to run through them with you. Hands even on the bar. Whatever bar you're squatting with, be it a Smith machine or a squat rack, there will be little grooves on the bar. You see where the arrows are pointing? What those little grooves are for, if you did not know, are for your fingers. You need to pick the same finger on opposite hands, be it your pinky finger, your ring finger, middle finger, your index finger. And you need to put those fingers in the grooves, and you need to squeeze the bar as tight as you can. You do not want to let that bar run away from you. Squeeze it. And what that does is it puts the bar centered in your back. And having the bar centered makes it so that the weight is distributed evenly, which helps you keep your posture and get a good squat in. Your feet being shoulder width apart. That's important because if they are not shoulder width apart, you can be having the weight distributed unevenly, and you will be using your right leg more than your left leg, or vice versa, and that does not get a good squat in. You need to keep your head up. This is important because when you're squatting heavy weight, when you're going parallel, when it hurts, you're looking up to God for blessings on getting that bar up. You're not looking down for disappointment. No. Looking up, it keeps your posture great, gives you more to get it up, and it gets God to give you blessings to lift the weight. You need to keep your abs tight. Having your abs tight keeps your posture. And if you have bad posture when you're squatting, you're not going to get that rack up. You need to stick your butt out. This is probably the most important part to squatting, most important step. Because having your butt out, it helps your posture. It keeps your back straight. And having your back straight and your butt out is what you need to do to squat. You need to pretend like you were sitting in a chair. Squat just like you would sit in a chair. This hits the butt muscles, and that's why people squat, to get a bigger booty. Going parallel. What this means is that when you squat, your legs make a 90-degree angle. That is a proper squat. That is perfect form right there. That hits all the muscles that a squat is supposed to hit. Now, like I said, I teach a little different. Some trainers will say that you're supposed to put your butt on the ground and come back up. I do not agree with that. Because what happens is when you go past parallel on your way up, your knees are doing almost all the work. And that's bad for the knees. And I do not want my clients having bad knees. Now, staying on your heels. If you look right there, I'm doing a squat and the toes are up. Throughout the whole entire squat, you should be able to lift your toes off the ground. If you are squatting on your toes, that is not a proper squat. You can hurt your knees and your ankles. Now what this does is it utilizes your butt muscles and utilizes your hamstrings and makes it so that you're using all that force right there to work the back of your legs. If you're using your toes, then you're using joints and ligaments that are not supposed to be used, and that's bad. Alright, so those are the 7 key elements that I teach that you need to remember when performing a proper squat. Now, do you guys know what can be affected from performing an improper squat? From staying on your toes, from not sticking your butt out, from having bad posture? Having an improper squat can hurt your hips, your knees, your ankles, and especially your back. Now, what's worse is that if you have bad ankles, that right there in its own can affect your knees. And having bad knees right there can affect your back. And if your back, ankles, knees hurt, your hips are most likely going to hurt. So if you perform an improper squat and you hurt even just an ankle from squatting wrong, you can potentially hurt yourself everywhere in your body. And that's why I teach my clients how to squat correctly. All right, let's learn to squat. So the only things that you need to learn how to do a proper squat is a Smith machine or a squat rack. They're similar. A Smith machine, the bar is attached to the machine, so you can't walk out of the rack. And a squat rack, the bar is just on a rack, and you can move around with it. I, today, am going to be using a Smith machine. It's a little bit safer because if it gets heavy, you can roll the machine back and it'll catch itself. So you need a Smith machine or a squat rack, and the handout I gave you to remember the elements in case you forget them. Now, if you come over here with me, I'll show you how to perform a proper squat. So this guy here, this is a Smith machine. I like this a little better than a squat rack because since you can't move forward or backwards, it helps you get more proper of the squatting because you can't lean more forward, you can't lean more backwards. It's good. And I also like it because if it gets heavy, if you're trying to build that butt up too much and you just can't lift it anymore, you're rolling forward and you're good. You're safe. Alright, so remember, the groove's on the bar. You need to pick your fingers and put it in the groove. I like to choose pinky finger or ring finger. I don't usually use any of the other ones. Today, I'll be using my ring finger. I stick those in the groove, make sure they're in there, and grip it tight. Grip it very tight. And place that bar in the middle of the back. Since I have my fingers evenly on the bar, I can do that. So you stand up, you have your feet shoulder width apart. Makes it so I don't put more weight on one leg than I do the other. Keep your abs tight. Ooh, abs tight. When you squat down, stick your butt out like you're sitting in the chair. Pretend there's a chair behind you and you want to sit down on it. Go down parallel. Parallel. Have an L. Don't go past parallel. That's bad for your knees. Should be able to lift your toes up. Should be able to see those piggies whenever you want to. Look up. Looking up makes your posture right. Looking up and sticking your butt out. You want to look up. If it gets too heavy, look up. Ask God for blessings to get it up. And push it up. That's one. Now here's the squat without the steps. Without me speaking them. That's one. See what I'm doing? It's easy. I know you can do it. Now that you saw me squat, I want you to try to do it. Now what I want you to do first is I want you to say the 7 steps that are important to squatting. After you say them, I want you to squat, saying the steps as you go down. And don't just say them, you need to do them too. Do them correctly. And after you do that, squat. Don't say anything, but perform the movements right. Okay, since you seem to know what you're doing, I'm going to do a squat. And I'm going to do 5 things wrong. At the end of it, I want you to tell me the 5 things that I did wrong. Okay? did wrong? That's right. I didn't have my hands even. I didn't have my feet shoulder width apart. I went past parallel. I didn't look up, and I squatted on my toes. Good job, nice catch. Now, for this activity, I'm going to perform 3 squats, 2 of which are incorrect. 1 will be right. At the end, I want you to point out which 2 were wrong and why they were wrong. Alright, here's the first squat. Alright, that's the first one. Here's the second one. Now here's the third one. Alright, do you know which 2 were wrong? That's right, the first one and the third one was wrong. The first one was wrong just because it was plain sloppy. You don't squat like that. I do not teach my class to squat like that. You squat like that, you're going to hurt yourself, and it's going to be embarrassing. The third one, it looked pretty good. It looked okay for if you didn't really pay attention to it. The reason why that one was wrong is because I squatted on my toes. Now, if you pay attention, squatting on your toes makes it so that your butt doesn't stick out. And that's bad. Those 2 go hand in hand. You'll see that a lot. Alright, now I'm going to perform 4 squats. Now in each squat, I'm going to do them right except for one thing in each one. I need to point out which one is wrong. Here's 1 squat. Alright, now I'm going to do 4 squats. And each squat, I'm going to do them correct except for one thing. I need to point out which one is wrong in each thing. You ready? Here's the first one. You know what's wrong with that one? That's right. Look at that. Good job. Here's the second one. You know what's wrong with that? That's right. I was on my toes. Here's the third one. See that one? That one, I wasn't sticking my butt out. But like I said, not sticking your butt out and being on your toes go hand in hand. Because I didn't stick my butt out. And because of that, I squatted on my toes. Here's your third one. What's wrong? That's right. My hands are not even. That's bad. And here is my last one. You ready? Pay attention. That one's easy. I didn't go parallel. Nice job. I'm proud of you. Good job. Now, since it looks like you can coach me through a squat, I want you to take it to another level, and I want you to train one of these other trainees in how to do a squat. So pick somebody, pair up, and you guys train each other. You guys coach each other on how to do a proper squat. And don't forget the 7 steps. I want you to say them and walk the other person through them. Remember, hands even, feet shoulder width apart, look up, abs tight, butt out, squat on your heels, and don't forget to go parallel. Do not go past parallel. Alright, it looks like you guys know what you're doing. You guys are done. Class is officially over. I'm glad you guys could join me for the first Squatting for Dummies lesson on how to do a proper squat. And if you guys will, please fill out an evaluation form and leave it on the table as you leave. It was nice to meet all you guys. Thank you.